All right, and we're live. So thank you so much for
Hey.
doing this. I'm really happy to have
Oh,
you
thank you
here.
for having me.
Long overdue on catching up with you,
Yeah, for sure.
right?
It's been a long time.
And it's unbelievable how the glue that keeps everybody together is jiu-jitsu. And
Yeah,
we met through jiu-jitsu and now we're reconnecting through jiu-jitsu, so I'm really happy
mhm,
about that.
absolutely. And I think the BJJ community is so small anyway that you always meet the people that even if you haven't seen them in a long time, we've got that connection. So
Right,
that's
right.
really
Especially in the Middle East too. Like it's
right.
in the US it's been there for so long. In the Middle East it still
Sure.
feels well, especially like Jordan where we met and stuff, it feels
Yeah.
underground still. It doesn't feel like it's surfaced,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah, although to be honest, I think like it's getting pretty well known in Jordan now as well.
Rapidly.
But yeah, for sure it's not mainstream, you could say, yeah.
Yeah, because it takes champions and big names to get everybody on
Uh-huh.
board, and I think Jordan's getting there. Like you see, a lot
Yeah.
of the MMA organizations,
Hmm.
Jordanians are up there, and there's a
Yeah,
guy called
absolutely.
Jarrah, if you know him. He's
Yeah.
really famous
Uh-huh.
now.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
and now everybody's like, oh, what's this jujitsu that Jarrah is using? And so
Right.
everybody's gonna get into it.
Yeah,
So
I think Yanal was training with him quite a bit last time we were over in Jordan.
oh, nice. Okay, I can't wait to ask about that. So I wanted to
Yeah.
start off by asking you. You're in Sweden now, right?
Yeah, I live in Sweden now.
In which city?
At the moment, I live in a tiny little place called Falköping, but
Okay.
we're hopefully, fingers crossed, moving next month because I train and Janelle also works in a different city called Jönköping.
Uh-huh.
It's about an hour away from where we live right now, so we're gonna hopefully move there next month.
Okay. I get you. I get you. Very cool. So, um, you live in a small city. You don't live in like a crowded area of Sweden because,
No,
with what's going on
very
right now
small.
these days.
Mhm.
I just had
Yeah, to
to.
be honest, like life is going on pretty as much as normal here in Sweden. Even I know I'm not in a big city, but
Mhm.
um, life goes on here. Yeah, very strange compared to the rest of Europe.
I understand that Sweden basically took the approach of treating it like a normal sickness and not
Mhm.
really going crazy like the rest of the world did. How do you feel about that? Like, do you feel okay? Are you practicing social distancing yourself?
Yeah, I'm feel kind of confident in the Swedish government's decision. They have recommended, that people in risk groups or people over 70 should like social isolate and stay at home much more, which I think is good. You should shield the people that need that the
A-
most. But then
Absolutely.
I guess, yeah, there are out and about, you keep your distance, but apart from that, life goes on, I guess.
So, are jiu-jitsu gyms open in Sweden?
No, they're not. They have closed, and that's
Okay.
the only thing which has been so frustrating.
I'm
Like life
sure.
is normal, apart from it's not normal at all because there's no training. So
And was it like a decision by the gyms themselves or the government made them close?
no, I think it came from the like the national sports body.
Okay.
And then there's also like the National Martial Arts like Association, I guess, that they give recommendations and guidelines and stuff.
Okay,
So
nice. Because you heard like in the
yeah,
US, there was all this drama. Some people were closing, some people were not, because the government was
yeah,
really, they weren't
yeah.
interfering.
Uh-huh. No, I
Uh,
think it was pretty much within the space of like 3 days or 4 days, all the jiu-jitsu gyms closed here in Sweden.
okay, so they did take action. They just didn't
Yeah,
go bananas like the rest of the world did.
right, absolutely. Like you
Okay, I
don't have
like
to stay
that.
at home and yeah.
I like that. Okay, cool. And
Mhm.
so, how have you been keeping busy? Exercise,
Yeah,
cardio.
it's been hard. I mean, I work from home anyway. I'm a freelancer.
Nice. What do you do?
So my kind of routine hasn't changed that much.
Okay.
Apart from I've kind of cut out my commute because, like I said, I live around an hour away from where I train. So
Mm-hmm.
that's normally a very big part of my day. I have to get to training and get back. That's 2 hours gone.
I
So
see.
that's changed a lot. It feels like I've got a lot more time in the evenings now.
So, what kind of
But
freelance work do you
otherwise,
do, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm a translator,
Nice. Okay. From which
Arabic,
languages?
English.
Okay. Last time we spoke, I know you speak Arabic, but have you like
Yeah.
upped your Arabic game?
No, I did my university studies in Arabic. I have a
Oh,
BA in Arabic language, and I have a
okay.
master's degree in Arabic translation.
Oh, so you probably write and read better Arabic than I do.
No, I doubt
Probably.
that.
That's
Yeah.
impressive. That's impressive. And so most of your work is done online.
Most of it is online and at home anyway, or wherever I am.
Oh,
That's kind of
lucky you. Perfect. This is the greatest
yeah.
career path to be in at this moment. It proved that anybody who has
Yeah.
work online really is doing well right now.
Yeah. Business is normal for me, to be honest.
Perfect. I'm very happy to hear that, because a lot of people out there, they're not just out of jiu-jitsu, they're out of their job as well. So they're just going crazy, totally
Sure,
crazy
that's
sitting at home.
useful.
And exercise-wise, like, is it just outdoor walking and stuff, or the gyms are open?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's kind of a little bit difficult because I have Isla home with me a lot, which makes it more difficult, but it's just getting outside as much as I can, really.
And the schools are closed as well, like nurseries and...
No, nurseries are open, schools are open. I think the universities are shut.
Interesting. And are you sending Ayla to nursery or?
Yeah,
okay, that's such a blessing. My son is 4 and he's gonna like tear apart the house. He's just bored out of his mind.
I don't know what I would do if I didn't have that, to be honest.
I'm turning into like language teacher. My wife is turning into like alphabets of English, just to keep him entertained. Unbelievable. Like what you have to do as a parent.
It's pretty hard.
You have an appreciation for these schools and daycares that you're like, what the hell are they doing in the daycares? And what are they teaching them? Now it's like, oh my goodness, I missed them.
Please open.
Unbelievable,
so
unbelievable.
Hopefully they're open and that lets me get my work done when I need to. So.
Cool. So I wanted to share with everybody first how we know each other, and then maybe get into a little bit of your backstory so they can get to know you.
Sure.
You and I met in Jordan when I was visiting a gym. Shout out to Zazawa.
Yeah.
I really miss those guys. It was like such a cool atmosphere to find a jiu-jitsu club like that in Jordan, honestly. And I think we can all agree.
It's kind of unique as well because it's full of foreigners, I think.
True.
And not just full of foreigners, but lots of different types of different people. So.
Yeah, and honestly, like even like the residents of Zazawa, they're super chill. The gym is spotless clean, and they're extremely like just generous. Like I felt so welcome. It was my first time there. I felt like I've been training there for decades. So I was very happy to meet you guys there. And I gotta tell everybody, you were my first experience of getting my ass kicked by a girl.
Oh really? No, I think you were being nice on me.
No. I was an early blue belt. And I was, blue belt, you're still lost. You just got promoted. And as a guy, especially, just getting your blue belt, most of it was on like using testosterone and strength, right? It wasn't really smart jiu-jitsu. I never really felt somebody with a really good guard, right? There's been some flexible guys that I've trained with. You had such a dominant guard at blue belt already. So I remember that.
I think when I met you, I was a white belt.
No. You just got your blue belt as well.
Okay. I was brand new blue belt then.
But training with you triggered in my mind, holy shit, how like important having a relaxed guard is. Not just tense and holding and grips, because I felt I just couldn't get around. I couldn't get past your guard. I couldn't do anything, So that was cool. And then, of course, meeting Yanal was a destructive experience.
That's a different story. That's a different story.
Ouch is the only description I can give of rolling with Yanal. My God, like this whole thing, leave your ego off the mats. I had my ego torn apart. I had my body torn apart training with him.
Damn, son.
Absolutely. So Yanal is Scarlett's husband, a dangerous black belt. Out of Jordan. And tell me something. When you started jiu-jitsu, was it in Jordan or before?
Yeah, I started in Jordan. I was actually looking. I'd done judo when I was a teenager for around perhaps a year, but just once a week as something for fun.
Okay.
And I was actually looking to go back into judo, but where I was living in Amman, I couldn't find any judo clubs at the time. So I was like, okay, well, BJJ kind of seems similar. I'll go try it out and see what it's like.
Nice.
And I had my first class, and I was just hooked. So yeah, the rest of it.
Pause. You're Swedish?
Yeah.
British?
I'm British and Swedish.
Okay. How did you end up in Amman?
Well, kind of through my studies.
Okay.
Like
Language.
I said, I studied Arabic at university. And before actually I went to university, I was also studying Arabic by myself.
Okay.
So I first went to Jordan when I was 17. I was still in high school, or sixth form in England that we call it.
Okay.
I went to study a semester at the University of Jordan.
Yeah.
And I just kept coming back, basically.
Nice.
I really like Jordan, really like Amman. So yeah.
So you vibed, like you liked the culture, you liked the people there, and you just kept coming back from that?
Yeah.
And when you were training jiu-jitsu, were you still studying?
No, I was working at that time, I think. Yeah, I was working.
What were you doing there?
I was freelancing
Okay, as well.
with my
Nice.
translation work. But
Nice.
for quite actually, I don't know if it was at the same time, but
Wow,
during
love it.
my time living in Amman, I did also work as a gymnastics coach there.
Okay.
So
Very
yeah.
cool. And all right, so if I'm not mistaken, Yanal was also training or coaching at the gym that you started in?
Yeah, he was coaching
Coaching.
and training. Yeah, but coaching. But
Yanal
I
was
met him.
coaching fundamentals?
Yeah,
Oh
he
shit.
was the beginner's class coach.
I hope he wasn't rolling with anybody.
He rode with everyone. That
No.
class was the toughest class I ever used to go to. Like
My
it was,
God.
everybody was there. That was there was tough. Like, yeah,
I can. They had to be. They had to be. And
yeah,
and
yeah.
honestly, it says so much about you, right? Because you, a jiu-jitsu, in order to reach the level that you've gotten, it takes a level of perseverance for any person, male or female, right? It's not an easy sport, especially when you get into the competitive side. You experienced a very difficult martial art in a difficult environment, and you loved it. That says a lot about your personality and like how open you are to trying things, right?
Maybe I don't know. I tried it and I loved it, and
Cool.
that's it. People often say to me, "Oh, like you must be dedicated to go training so much or whatever." I
Yeah,
say, to be honest, nothing to do with dedication. It's just my passion. I love doing it. For me, it's fun. To me, I'm going to go and have fun. So
I
it doesn't
totally
feel like a
relate.
job or work or hard. It's just fun.
I totally understand that. No, that's cool. Do you remember
Yeah.
your first like class or first technique that made you, holy shit, this is insane?
Um, I can't remember the first technique. I remember some sequences that we were doing, which I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like when things started to like click and understand like what jiu-jitsu is, because I
Okay.
had an idea of what judo was. I
Mm.
still didn't really understand what jiu-jitsu was, but
Mm-hmm.
like I in my judo kind of training, well, I wouldn't call it training, but
Got you.
yeah, whilst I did judo, I always used to love the groundwork more anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
then when I came to jiu-jitsu and saw that was the focus, I thought that was really awesome. And
Nice.
seeing the submissions, like I knew like what an arm bar was, and I knew like some chokes, but apart from that,
Did you
like
used to watch
seeing the
any
rest
MMA?
of what, no, not really.
Okay.
I started watching like when I got into the jiu-jitsu, I started like seeing this new world.
Cool. Cool.
And yeah, it was really cool.
So that
Yeah.
was your entry into the world of combat, really, because judo was teenage
Yeah.
years, just having some fun.
Yeah. No, it wasn't anything serious. I used to go like once a week on a Friday for an hour or something. So yeah.
Okay. And how much of your like jiu-jitsu training do you focus on like the judo side nowadays, if any?
Uh, very little.
Yeah, I'm the
Most
same.
people that know me, most people that know me know that I'm like a guard player, a guard puller. So, I
Yeah,
do really enjoy the judo side of it. I love, practicing it. It's just
sure.
I don't feel like it's my game, let's
Yeah.
say, in jiu-jitsu, but
I,
I
I
do
think,
enjoy it.
you know, I actually, on that point, I think this is something I really do enjoy about jiu-jitsu is that there is no cookie cutter way of doing it. Like, you find out
Yeah,
your body, what you like, what you don't like, you can do it. It's not like your coach will be like, no, hit you on the hand and do a kata,
yeah,
like karate or
yeah.
whatever.
That's actually something I absolutely love about jiu-jitsu, because I told you I did judo, but
Hmm.
actually as a child growing up, I was a very competitive gymnast and dancer.
Uh-huh.
And in those two different like disciplines, the way you do something is so important. If your toes aren't stretched, if your arm is in the wrong place, if your head is out of place, those things lose you points or can lose you a championship, or those things are wrong.
Wow.
And gymnastics and dance as well, I think it's very like body focused, you can
Uh-huh.
say. Like
Yep.
there is a right shape and there is definitely a wrong shape for those two kind of sports. And I like that in jiu-jitsu you can be any size or shape and
You
find your
create
own
what you
game.
want, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's really empowering. So
So,
yeah,
when did you start gymnastics then?
I think I was 4 or 5 years old.
Wow. Okay. So early on,
Yeah,
you have like an athletic background. So gymnastics,
yeah,
man. I'm
definitely.
realizing like I went. I saw this Little Stars club that they have here, and my niece was
Mhm.
doing gymnastics there. And you look at the kids that are like dedicated gymnasts. You're
Yeah,
like, holy shit, they're shredded. At like 5 years old,
yeah.
6 years old, they're like buffer
Doesn't
than
take
most
much.
guys I know. No, but that's
Yeah.
it made me think is like you look at football, you look at tennis, they look like normal kids. Gymnasts looks like they're
Mm-mm.
shooting something. right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it can't.
It's hard work. I loved it as a kid. I was, my mom sent me there because I had too much energy, kind of thing. Well, and also because I wanted to. It was
Nice.
always my choice. I was always a very strong-willed child, so it was always my choice of what I wanted to do. But I had so much energy as a kid, and I loved working hard.
Okay.
So yeah, it was good for me.
That's starting to make sense to me. And you stuck on to gymnastics for how long? Like until what age did you consistently train?
I think I quit gymnastics when I was around 13, 14 because it was taking too much time away from my dance.
Hmm.
Um, I decided that dance was going to be my thing, and I was very, very serious about it. So I kind of went away from the gymnastics and
Okay.
carried on with the dance more seriously.
But it's not like you went from gymnastics to just party. You went from gymnastics to dance, which
No,
is still
no.
physical, which
I
is
was
still
already
active.
doing dance. I think I started ballet when I was 3 years old. So I'd been
Ah,
doing the two side by side in parallel for many years.
you know,
And I still, kept in touch with the gymnastics world. I was a gymnastics qualified judge, and I did a little bit of coaching. And
very
my
cool.
mom actually was a very high performance level, elite level gymnastics coach and judge as well. So
Oh,
I had that kind
wow.
of
It's
background.
all falling into
Yeah,
place now. It's all making,
yeah,
because we never had this conversation. Now I'm getting to know you a little
yeah.
bit better.
We're having it
So
now.
you've got the like, let's say the lineage, the genetics from your mom. You've got the history from 4 years old all the way to 13 gymnastics. So basically the
Mhm.
important years of your physical development were around very difficult physical activities, because gymnastics
Yeah.
is solid, and everybody, the people that talk shit about ballet have never ever seen a ballet class. That shit is
No,
torture. It's
never
not
idea.
easy.
No idea. Yeah, but I as much as I think, yeah, the ballet is very difficult.
Yeah.
I think gymnastics sets you up for life. I really do, because you have to be fast, you have to be strong, you have to be flexible, you have to have good coordination and mobility. You
Yeah.
have to have everything in gymnastics. And as a kid doing that, you are given so many tools,
Hmm.
physical tools. I think that I think it's yeah, it can set you up for any sport if you do gymnastics.
That is so cool to hear. Like I like to hear the blueprint of a person that goes from, like, you don't know their background and you just see the tip of the iceberg, and you see like what they're doing, and
Uh-huh.
like, oh my god, they're a natural. It's like, no, no, they went through a lot of things to get to this point. You just don't have to see it right at once. And it makes sense from what I see now and what you're telling me. Uh,
Yeah.
would you put your daughter, because you have a 4-year-old daughter, right?
Yeah.
Would you put her in gymnastics? Would you put her through that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely. She's gonna start soon. She was actually meant to start last December, but unfortunately the classes got cancelled and stuff. But yeah,
Oh,
she's
okay.
starting really soon.
I'm excited for my son actually, because my niece, again, because she was doing Little Stars gymnastics, my
Yeah.
my sister got her this what's it called? The hanging bar that they oh
Yeah. Hmm.
so they got the
Yeah,
she
just a
got
bar, yeah.
yeah, they got her the bar in the house and stuff, and she was enjoying it, and she kind of got bored of it. My son, every time he goes to her house, goes bananas, and he just swings
Oh,
on it and pulls and wraps his legs, and he got really into it, and he just,
okay.
Baba, I want to do gymnastics. And when I saw the
Nice.
kind of physique that comes out of gymnastics,
Yeah.
most guys like, Baba, no, go do football. Go. No, I'm like, go do gymnastics. You're gonna be buff.
Yeah, exactly. If he decides in the future he wants to do football, he'll be ready to do it. Like,
Oh, he'll shred other kids in football if he does gymnastics. Hands down.
yeah, we also have, like, I have a pull-up bar on my kitchen.
Yeah.
And I, like, she sees me doing like pull-ups and stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like, Mama, I want to try. I was like, okay, whatever. So I put her up. I'm not even kidding. This girl can do chin-ups like crazy.
Beast.
It's scary. I don't know
Oh,
where she got this from.
see, genetics. She's got a pedigree. She's got her grandmother, her mother, and now her. It's all on her side right now. You just gotta push it a little. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool. So I mean, we basically understand now what led you physically towards jiu-jitsu, right? But mentally, I feel like you took it a lot more differently than most people do. Most people start it, it's a hobby, it stays a hobby, and they focus on their freelance work. But I felt, all right, so like, okay, let's say we met in Jordan, and then after we trained, there was the World Pro in 2018 in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Right, and you and Yanal visited here. We trained a little bit together, and you guys competed. Now, a little funny story for everybody is, so again, like I said, Yanal's a beast. Okay, he's a very
Yeah. You can see that again.
he's a very tough fighter in the practice and in the competition, and I admire his style. Like, he was the first person I really, after training with him, and I'm sure you'll understand me straight away. This is Yanal's game. It's switching side to side. He switches to the other side like lightning.
Yeah, and he's so fast. It's weird because he's this big guy, this big, huge, strong guy.
Yes.
And people don't expect him to be so fast and so explosive. And he really is.
There might be some ballet in his background. I don't know, because he's a bit fast. He's a bit too fast for his size.
That's his secret, huh?
For me, it was like, I'm still figuring out the guard passing and stuff, but training with him, I'd hip escape to a side and he'd crush me and his legs would swing to the other side. And I use that in my game today. I promise you, when I train till this day and I train with guys, in my head, I have a Yanal mode, which is the switch side to side aggressively, because it worked against me really well. So we were training together in Abu Dhabi. I had a setup and we were like leading up to the World Pros. And so you guys are training. You and Yanal are rolling. Okay, I want to share this story. This is just...
I think I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. This is just to compliment the perseverance of you, okay? It was jaw-dropping. So her and Yanal were rolling, and then Scarlett is a bit stubborn with rolling, right? She got caught in a heel hook, new blue belt.
I think it was a toe hold, yeah.
Oh yes, a toe hold. It was a toe hold. Absolutely. Yeah. She got caught in the toe hold, and Yanal looks at her and is like, I caught you. And then she looks at him, she's like, no, you didn't. No. And then he looks at her, no, Habibi, I caught you. Yeah. No, pa! Yeah. And then there was me, Zumbi, and a friend of mine in the room. We just went up on the wall, we're like, what? Shit! Because we all heard the pop. There was, it wasn't, are you okay? No, there was a pop and echo. So we look, and then the problem is your expression wasn't, ow. It was, let's continue. You know, I was like, no, I just popped it. And so anyways, you put some ice, and I think you even like continued rolling a little bit.
Yeah, I think I continued rolling. I think I did.
Any person would have ran to the ER at that situation. Yeah. But you brushed it off. It hurt you a little bit. All good. So are you okay, Scarlett? Yeah, I'm sorry. Anything that, you're like, no. And you guys left. Next day or the day after was the World Pros. I see you and you've got like duct tape on your leg.
Yeah.
And you competed.
My ankle was not happy. It was not happy at all. I could hardly walk.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But you know what? A hobbyist, a person looking at jiu-jitsu as just, a fun thing, might have considered like, I'm not going to compete. You went for it. And I really respected that.
All the way to Abu Dhabi. I wasn't just going to not compete.
I like that. Absolutely. Why not? And you did pretty well in that competition.
It was like my second competition ever, that competition.
Wait, no, you are right. There was a competition we went together to before that. We went to the Jordan competition.
Yeah, that was my first competition, the one in Jordan. And then I think it was like the month before. And then, we went to Abu Dhabi too.
That was cool. And you had a newborn baby. No, not newborn.
She was, I think she was like 10 months old, 9 months old or 10 months old, something like that.
Was it 2018 or 17? It was around that time.
That must have been 17.
17.
Yeah, that was in 2017, because I got knocked out in that competition. I remember that competition was my first fight. I got DQ'd and I was like, oh my God.
Wait, why did you get DQ'd?
I reaped.
The leg lock in you.
I thought I had an ankle lock, and then being a brand new stupid belt,
You were born for reverse de la Hiva. You just didn't know it. You just went for a reap. So the reason I mentioned this competition is because she's warming up. She sits down, holds her child, takes care of her. She cries. It's okay, shh, baby, shh. And she goes and she fights, reaps somebody, gets DQ'd. Screw this. Goes back. Are you okay, baby? It's like
but then I had more fights because at that time they had like a double elimination. So then I got to fight again. So that was lucky. I think I was gonna fight then.
My wife was with me in that competition, and I remember she's just looking at me. She's looking at you. She's like, "Baby, you see? Baby, are you looking? She's a mom and she's fighting." She was enamored by you. Like she's like, "Holy shit, this is so cool." She felt like woman power. Let's go. You know what I mean? And it was something very impressive to see. Absolutely, and it was the same. Like you and Yanal came with your daughter, and you didn't have anybody with you, and you both came to compete in the World Pro. So. You duct tape your foot. You competed, and Yanal competed as well. How'd you do in that competition?
I didn't get any place in that competition.
But you won your first fight. I remember watching that one.
I lost my first fight on DQ, and then my second fight I won. I think by submission.
Wait, your first fight DQ? Why?
Yeah, for the reaping of the knee.
Wait, that was the reaping. Jordan wasn't.
That was the first. No. Sorry. The one in Jordan. No, the one in Jordan I won.
Oh, okay.
And then my first fight in the World Pro in 2017 in Abu Dhabi. Yeah, I lost my first fight DQ. Then the second one I won, and then the third one I think I lost on a guard pass. I think something like that.
Oh wow! But I mean, like again, just for everybody, a World Pro is a huge event in Abu Dhabi. Lights, camera, action, like 1 million people. The hallway just to get to the mats feels like a gladiator battleground, right? So there's so much that goes into it. And that was your second competition. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was my second. Yeah. It was weird. I was very, very nervous. It was weird because, I competed a lot as a kid and as a teenager in, dance and gymnastics. And I was never a nervous competitor. I was always quite a confident competitor. But jiu-jitsu, I really had to work on controlling my nerves.
Right.
I think it's like the idea of, like in gymnastics or dance, like you have a routine, you know what you're going to do. Everything's set. Like if you don't do what you're doing,
there's a structure.
If you don't do something right, it's your problem kind of thing.
I get you.
Jiu-jitsu, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know maybe you don't even know who your opponent is or how they play or what they're going to, pull. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I found that really nerve-wracking.
Absolutely. And you know what? That was my rude awakening in jiu-jitsu because my first competition, I had in my mind what I'm going to do, what's going to happen, how I'm going to do this. I'm going to take him down, I'm going to do this. And then the fight starts and he pulled guard. I'm like, shit! Everything I just visualized is gone.
I know, right?
What do I do now? This is the beauty of jiu-jitsu. You're playing with so many variables, and I think that's what makes it addictive.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, okay, you finished this competition, and since then I haven't seen you guys, but I feel like after that competition, you caught the real jiu-jitsu bug because you went bananas jiu-jitsu after that.
Yeah.
And after that, you went to Sweden or back to Amman?
Yeah, we came to Sweden, I think in the summer of 2017. We were like kind of, I don't know, feeling like, are we going to move or are we going to stay or that kind of thing. But we came for the summer, and then I think I competed actually in one competition here in Sweden. It was a Scandinavian tournament.
As soon as you got there?
It was just before we left, and then we went back to Amman. And then in 2018, I didn't have the chance to compete that much, but I did go to World Pro again in 2018.
Nice.
And I got silver that time.
Silver at blue belt?
At blue belt, yeah. Okay,
and you always compete in absolute, like in open weight division?
In UAE JJF, or was it like AJP Tour now, whatever?
Yeah, they changed it.
I competed in blue belt. I competed under 90 kilos, which is the maximum weight for women.
Yeah.
But I never felt like it was like my weight class because I'm like, but on the very, very lower end. So it goes like 70 kilos would be the other option.
Okay.
And my weight is like, I'm a medium heavy player in IBJJF, so which is under 74 kilos.
Yeah, which is a difficult place to be.
I never felt like that was my division. Like I'm like normally between 72 or 74 kilos.
Got you.
So yeah, I was giving up quite a lot of weight in those competitions, but I felt that, that's what I'd had experience in. So I'm just going to go with it. Cause like I did last year I did the, was it the London Grand Slam?
Okay.
And I did another British National Pro in under 90. And then last year as well, I went to World Pro again. I was thinking, shall I do World Pro under 70? And at the end, I was like, no, I'll do under 90 because that's what I've done before. But this year, I've just did the London Grand Slam, which didn't go so great for me. But I did under 70 on that for the first time.
Under 70, and you cut that weight. How did it feel cutting all that weight?
Not fun.
Did you feel lethargic in the competition? Did you feel just like out of it?
No, because like now you can weigh in the day before.
Right.
I weighed in on the Saturday. I made weight and then felt completely normal on the Sunday, which was really good.
It's funny, like it's different with a lot of people, but like in my case, I always felt like the biggest issue I had with weight cuts was the digestive issue. Like you always felt like you didn't eat properly, you didn't hydrate properly, and you get into the competition, you're like, you don't feel like you got that fire behind you, you know? So I like it when people compete at their weight and don't overdo this whole weight bounce, right?
Yeah,
I feel
right,
I
sure.
feel I'm kind of against it. Okay, professional MMA and all of this boxing, cut all the weight you want, right? You're making hundreds of millions of
Yeah,
dollars, go for it. But when
yeah,
it
do what
comes
you want.
yeah, when it comes to jiu-jitsu, I think the weight you're walking around in, that's the point of jiu-jitsu. That's why we're training to be capable
Right,
in our natural state. So compete at
totally.
that weight and see how you do. But so you're usually competing at the highest level of the women's divisions in whatever category you're in. I've noticed, right?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And you've been doing quite well. Like I'm following you on Instagram and I see, okay, maybe the London Pro, the London Grand Slam, you didn't do so well, you said, but you've been getting gold medals after gold medals. Blue belt was very successful for you, I think.
Yeah, I think last year, 2019 was I got my purple belt last year in May.
Okay.
Um, Last year was actually the first year that I was like, okay, I'm really going to dedicate myself to competing. Because like I said, I did like a World Pro in 2017. I did a World Pro in 2018. I did a couple, like maybe two others in 2018, but I hadn't really got that much competing experience. But
Got you.
last year, 2019 was the year I was like, this is it. I'm going to compete this year. And it was like
Nice.
actually one of my New Year's resolutions to compete as much as I could.
Nice.
So I did quite a lot. Yeah, I did quite a lot in the end of my blue belt between January and May, and that went pretty good. I felt good about it, and then I got my purple belt. And then in June, I was like, okay, I have to test the waters now. I have to see what competing's like at purple. So I
Where
went
you
to this,
stand. Okay.
yeah, exactly. I want to see like, do I really deserve my purple belt kind
It's
of
a
thing.
funny feeling when you get that belt because it's
Yeah.
it's the start of jiu-jitsu for me. Like I felt like
Yeah.
now it's real time.
Yeah, so then I just carried on competing and just kept loving it.
So for the people that do compete or that like just started competing and they're getting a little heartbroken, you know that feeling where you're not getting what you thought you would get,
Yeah.
in your head you're like, I'm gonna kick everybody's ass and then you get your ass kicked. So what advice would you give them?
Somebody who's going to start competing.
They just started competing, they're feeling like maybe this is not for me, maybe this is, they get discouraged because they think I'm not good, let me just stop. I didn't get a gold medal, let me just give up kind of situation.
No, I definitely, I think I went into competing in jiu-jitsu kind of having a self-confidence, like a false sense of confidence, my background competing, throughout my life. It's kind of come normally to me to compete.
Right.
But then in jiu-jitsu, I thought, oh yeah, this is going to be really good. And then I didn't get, my first World Pro, nothing really came of it. And then I think my next competition after that, I got a bronze. And I was like, oh, well, is this what I should be doing kind of thing? I thought I'd be doing better than this.
Yeah, I totally understand. Yeah.
But yeah, this has quickly changed. I came in with kind of confidence and now I'm very much more like, oh, should I be good enough to do this competition kind of thing? It's really changed around. But
interesting.
I think stick with it. If it's something you love to do, stick with it because you never know when that goal is going to come. You never know when that extra bit of training is going to turn things around for you.
Absolutely.
If you love it, do it. That's
Absolutely.
all I can really say.
And another lesson that I would take from what you're saying is you said when you made that resolution to compete as much as you could, right? That's when the results really started stacking because it's like, I go to a jiu-jitsu class once a week, right? And then I get tapped out, I get discouraged, I continue going once a week, nothing will change. If I go 3-4 times a week, I suddenly start tapping people. It's the same concept for competitions.
Absolutely, because I think there's such a huge difference between like doing good in the gym and doing good at competition. It's a completely different skill set.
Right.
It's got so many different variables, so many different factors that go into being successful at competing and, the strategy and everything to do with it. I think the more you compete, the better you get at competing, obviously.
Yeah.
So you can't just give up once or twice. You've got to give it a little try and keep going. At least maybe give yourself a year, like I did last year. Give yourself a year and say, what can I do in this year?
Nice. Commit to something for a year. That's cool. I like that. It's interesting because when you first go to a new gym, everybody's new to you. And let's say there's 30 people in the class. So it's intimidating and you're getting your ass kicked. Then as you get to know them, you get to know who to pull guard on, who to play pass aggressive, who to do this.
Totally.
It's funny because it's the same in competitions. Because at a certain point, locally especially, you're competing against the same people in every competition.
Right.
Eventually, like, oh, that's a guard puller. Oh, that's a a De La Riva player. And so it kind of actually turns into training in the gym if you allow yourself to have that mindset. But the only difference I feel in competition is you gotta have to have this I'm ready to die mentality. Like I'm gonna give everything I have in this one little micro moment.
Yeah.
And then after that, I don't want to think about it anymore. That kind of situation.
You want to leave it all on the mats. Yeah.
Exactly. So just to take a little step back, you're getting promoted by Yanal, or did you join another gym? Are you under like?
Yeah. So I did get my purple belt from Yanal.
Okay.
At the moment, I'm training in, like I said, in Jönköping at JJK Samurai.
Cool.
A really great club that I love training at so much.
Nice.
So the head coach there is Pal Peshwan, and he's my main coach. But Yanal is still there. Yanal will always be my first coach.
Absolutely.
So between the two, yeah.
And is Yanal coaching full time there as well?
No, Yanal doesn't coach at the moment. He was coaching at a gym in a little bit further away from us, in a different gym. But no, he's working now in a different job, which makes the two clash. So it's not working out, but hopefully soon we'll see him around coaching somewhere.
I get you. So do you see jiu-jitsu as a career, or is it still a hobby? Like, where are you right now? Because you're a freelance translator. You got that going for you. Where does jiu-jitsu sit in your life?
It's definitely a priority for me. I think I made it, like last year, I made it a priority. Otherwise, it was never going to happen. So I guess I'm kind of lucky with the work that I do. I don't have to choose. I don't have to choose between this or that, because my work can follow me. Even if I go and travel somewhere, my work follows me.
Absolutely.
So I feel very lucky that I can pursue both. I wouldn't say I'm a professional athlete by any means. I mean, that would be the dream.
Yeah.
But
you have the foundation for it. Nice. And I honestly think you have the foundation for it, and you have the attitude towards it, because, okay, you're a purple belt. You're at that belt where things are getting serious in jiu-jitsu. You're competing and you're doing well, right? So you're getting the good indicators. You have your life set up in a way, like that. This is the thing, like, and I definitely want to get more into detail of that motherhood aspect, because I think this is where it's really important information for people listening, especially the mothers out there, because you've created the environment to suit your passions in life.
Yeah, for sure.
Most people squeeze in their passion within their circumstances. I think this time, the phase we're going through, like this pandemic, is making people realize that I have an opportunity. My job doesn't even want me to come home, right? I've got all this time. Maybe I should start developing my own freelance game, my own online or job where I don't have to attend a cubicle and be limited in my space.
Yeah.
Because it allows people like you.
I mean, my job is just a facilitator to look after my family, to live a nice life, or to do jiu-jitsu. Basically, it's
it's your passion. Yeah, why not?
Obviously, my work is important to me, and I'm very invested in it.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, it's a means to do what I want.
Absolutely. No, and I like it. I like that. I try to live my life that way as much as possible. Like, jiu-jitsu is one of the highest priorities in my life, right? I've got family and jiu-jitsu, literally, and then work.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu has brought so much good into my life, from refocusing my health, from making me feel more confident in myself. I know, I had a spine surgery a very long time ago in 2005, and like almost at a point where they were saying I'm not supposed to run. So jiu-jitsu gave me that feeling back where I can be capable in something despite that. And that's why I totally relate to what you're saying. So this is why I'm asking you this question, because I see you becoming sponsored. I see you competing super fights. I see you doing some cool stuff. So who's your gi sponsor right now again?
Yes, Okami Fight Gear. I'm actually really lucky and feel really happy to be sponsored by them. They're a really great company. I love their products. So.
And how did that how did that come about? Like, how did Okami reach you? Why did they contact you? What happened?
Well, let's say I've always been a little bit reserved or conservative about pushing myself out there, let's say.
Okay.
But I kind of my coach pal, he was like, oh, you should maybe have a look around and see what companies are out there to help, because I compete a lot and I have been competing a lot.
Right.
And it's expensive. So I kind of was like, okay, well, maybe I'll kind of approach a few companies and see what they say, see what they've got. So I really like, I've heard of Okami before. I've got, teammates that wear their stuff. I like the company. So I
Cool.
approached them, to be honest.
Oh, okay, cool, cool.
Yeah. And we spoke, and yeah, I really appreciated the way they were interested in me as well, and the way
Nice.
that they kind of took me on board, which was really nice.
I think because like honestly, gi companies, brands around jiu-jitsu, sponsorship is a very important part of a person starting to feel like a professional, because we're all just hobbyists going to competitions, right? Everybody's got a world title in their Instagram page these days, right? It's the dedication, because it's not like we have one competition per year and one winner in each division. There's a lot to attend. So it would not be possible for a person to really take it seriously if they didn't exist. And some companies, they're pretty selfish and they don't even go for it. So like a company that supports athletes is definitely a good company on my list.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
That support means the world to me. So
yeah, and I think it's another foundation for you, just like everything we're saying, your career so far. I hope to see you succeed even more and towards brown belt and then black belt, because it'll be cool to say, like I saw somebody and I know somebody that started off in a certain place and just as a hobby and took it to pro. And I really think you have that in you, and it could be cool to see.
Oh, thank you.
Are your plans moving?
So.
Yeah, let's see. I wouldn't be surprised. Your plans moving forward are to continue competing?
Yeah, I actually had loads of plans for this year. Obviously, they've all gone now.
Yeah.
So far. Yeah, this year was meant to be the first year that I did Europeans. I went to Europeans in January. It didn't go my way, unfortunately, as well.
Okay.
But I was going to go to Worlds this year in the US for the first time.
Oh, that would have been cool. And aside from just the Worlds, training with all of these gyms in the US must have been like something you were looking forward to.
It would have been awesome. And again, I had my alarm on my phone the other day. I'd put the World Pro on my calendar, and it came up like today, purple belt, World Pro. And I was
oh no.
I'm not there.
Oh no.
It sucks.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's hurting right now in the jiu-jitsu community. But I mean, like I'm happy that you got a pretty cool event before all of this happened. February 23rd, 22nd.
Yeah.
I saw you had the super fight Scandinavian thing. What was that event?
So it was the Scandinavian tournament, which I did on the Saturday. I think it was 22nd. There was nobody in my category, so I did heavyweight, and I managed to win that one, which was really fun.
Nice.
And then the next day I had a super fight with a Russian girl, Yulia.
Yeah.
And she's awesome. We've seen each other around at different competitions. And
okay. And she lives in Sweden, or she comes from Russia?
No, she lives in Norway.
Okay.
She lives in Norway, yeah. And I know she's a super tough competitor, and always seen her fights and being very respectful of what she can do and stuff. But we've never met in a competition.
Interesting.
So it was really cool. We got asked to do this super fight together.
And it was the first time you fought her?
It was the first time I fought her, yeah.
Yeah, that's challenging. It adds a level of challenge in a competition, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Are there many female competitors in Sweden, like active competitors?
Yeah, I think the female BJJ community in Sweden is really good. Like the level of the girls here is high. Like when I go to competitions here in Sweden, I often feel like these girls are tougher than the other girls I'm fighting other places.
Yeah.
They're really tough, the Swedish girls. So yeah, I think definitely they're very
Sweden takes their sports very seriously, but they take their MMA very seriously. And I think like the whole Gustafsson chain that started everything and everybody following suit. And I think like, do you feel UFC, the women's division, had an impact on like women training martial arts?
I can't speak for other girls, but I know it did for me. Like when I started jiu-jitsu, I mean, obviously I started jiu-jitsu off my own back, but at the time Ronda Rousey was really big. And just being like that into that kind of thing made me feel that I had a place in the sport.
Cool.
Okay, I wasn't doing MMA, but I felt like I had more
leverage
to doing BJJ, if that gets what I mean.
Yes,
what I mean.
absolutely.
So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I noticed like Dana White from the UFC, he started off against women's division and he kept pushing it off, right? And now he says it himself. He's like, I want to kick myself in the mouth for having thought that.
Yeah.
So, but I noticed once you started getting Ronda Rousey and super fights, you started seeing more women training BJJ. Because when a woman goes into martial arts, you've got Muay Thai. This is what I'm just personally seeing from women: is they either go Muay Thai route, "Gah, ha, ha," and shout and Thai clinch and go crazy, or they go jiu-jitsu. Because
I think that's right. Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu, I believe, for women is very important to start out in martial art because it gives them leverage from like hell, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, there's a saying that I had that I really love. Like when guys do jiu-jitsu, they realize how weak they are.
Okay.
But when women start jiu-jitsu, they find out how strong they are.
Nice. Very cool. Very nice.
Which I think is so true.
Very nice.
To be honest, yeah.
Very nice. You know, it's interesting. The more like advanced I feel I'm getting in jiu-jitsu, the less I use my physicality. You know, the more I use my bone structure to do stuff. And women have bone structures, men have bone structures. It's not muscle. If you just wedge them in the right place, you just let them do the silly stuff, not you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So, and that's why I really think it's huge for women to see other women competing like this and take it to the next level. Because like, for example, in Jordan, I noticed there weren't so many women competing. You know, you would go into a division, you'd be like one, and you'd look around the audience, can somebody fight? Please, you know what I mean, kind of situation. So I hope to see more. Like this is good for BJJ.
Yeah, it's actually a strange situation in Jordan, I think. I think some of the girls a couple of years ago did a lot to get women included in the competitions. And I think there are quite a few girls now, you know, doing well, training hard and stuff in Jordan. But I don't know why there isn't such a huge women's seed in the competitions, to be honest. I don't know what
might be a bit cultural. That's why, like, I was curious about Sweden. Like, it's a fighting country, honestly. Like, they're an MMA crazy country, and I was curious if the women are also MMA crazy, and apparently so.
Yeah, I don't know so much. I know a few girls doing MMA, but definitely BJJ is the girls here are really strong. We have some really strong divisions.
So I think this is a good segue to kind of ask just you a few questions on that side. Is do you find jiu-jitsu, how can I say, something that you need to have auxiliary training for, or do you just focus on jiu-jitsu? Like, do you need to work out to do jiu-jitsu or just train jiu-jitsu?
I don't think you have to. I think it helps. I think you can do too much, and that can detract from it. I think
too much jiu-jitsu?
No, if you do too much other training, you know, I think you can. I've known so many people that have complemented their jiu-jitsu training, and it's taken over so much of them, and they've actually, you know, become injured from their kind of side training, and it's affected their jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But I think it can help, but I don't think it has to be like a major part of your training. That gets, you know what I mean?
No, I get you. I went through that phase as well. Like, I started like getting, you know, you see Andre Galvao and competitors like that. You're like, I need to put on some mass, and then you do that, and then your elbow hurts whenever you do any movements, and it's not easy on your joints and ligaments when you weightlift and then do jiu-jitsu. Your body's like.
I think if you're getting results in the gym doing jiu-jitsu, I don't think it's necessary. Of course, it depends on what kind of level you're at, what you want to be, you know, where you want to go with it, but I don't think it's 100% necessary.
I get you. You know, like I look at, sometimes I think of the body as another person, right? And they have the mind of their own, and it's like, what the hell do you want me to do? Do you want me to be flexible and push people over? Do you want me to be a stiff idiot that push things in linear motions? Like, I have this conversation, I'm like, no, okay, sorry, body. I got you. So, all right, being a mother and pursuing all of this, a personal career and martial arts, like trying to dabbling in it as a semi-pro, trying to see where this rabbit hole takes you. How do you manage your time? How do you manage yourself between being a mother and this?
It's tough. Okay. I can't really say more than it. It's really tough. And I often have a lot of guilt that, you know, oh, I'm going training again, or, you know, oh, I'm going to this competition and I'm not seeing my daughter. Is it worth it? You know, should I be doing something else? Am I doing something that's not good for her? I often have these thoughts and these doubts. And it gets, you know, you really think about it, especially when you don't do well. You think, oh, what was the point of all that? You know?
Wow, yeah.
Because it's not just the expense of going, it's the time away from them, and, you know, all the hours in the gym that you sacrifice to be there. And if it doesn't go your way, you think, oh, why am I doing this kind of thing? But you realize, no, I'm doing something I love. And I hope that Isla sees that, my daughter Isla, sees that you're doing something worthwhile. And I hope that she will think that she can do what she wants in the future as well.
I definitely think, because, you know, there's It's an adage. I don't know. I don't remember exactly how it goes, but it's just like children, they don't listen to what you say. They look at what you do. As much as you
Yeah.
shout it at them, they don't care. They're looking at you.
Yeah.
If you have bad habits, they're gonna have the same bad habits as you. So when she sees you competing and stuff, I'm sure she has a different lens, a different filter that she's using. Do you take her? Do you take her to sometimes your trainings and like she's hanging out next to
Yeah,
you?
she comes with me everywhere I go, to be honest.
Okay,
She's always at the gym. She's always in all my friends at training know her. She has
nice.
more friends than me, to be
That's
honest.
cool. That's
She's
very
always
cool.
there sitting in the corner at training, and if I'm rolling and somebody's not, they normally go and sit with her and keep her entertained. So
And
I'm
what does
really
she
lucky
do?
that I have people
She's
around me.
coloring. She's drawing on the
Oh
iPad.
yeah, we bring little toys with us, or she watches, or she draws, or
And how
speaks
many
to
days a week
people.
is this? Like, how many days a week do you train?
In Jönköping, it's like we normally take her with us like 4 times a week. She comes with us.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, it's quite a long way, so we
Mm-hmm.
drive 1 hour there, 1 hour back.
Wow,
So
to the gym
that's
just to
another
train.
thing. Yeah, just to train.
That's commitment.
So that's another part of it that makes me feel, oh, that's bad for her as well, because she comes in the car such a long way. And that's another
Sure.
reason why I'm so excited to be moving, because that means, I'll be 5 minutes away from the gym. It will be more time with Isla. It will be better all round, I think. So I'm really excited to move closer.
Like if I may like give you my opinion on this, and I say this to a lot of like my sister and I were very close, and she's also like a person who's very ambitious and very excited
Yeah.
to try things and do things. But one thing about my sister is she always has her kids around her, and I think like that's worth the world for the kids to be around their parents. I try to be around my son as much as I can, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing: a lot of people pursue men, women, fathers, mothers. There is no difference in this one. They pursue careers that the career itself wouldn't be healthy for the child to be around, even if the career is healthy for the family. Let's say the career makes them a lot of money and it's really good. It gives the children opportunities and great.
Yeah.
But imagine taking your child there. Would they learn good values or not in that environment? Chances are they wouldn't. They'd go to that environment. It'll be cutthroat. It'll be busy.
Yeah.
Everybody's like protocol. The kid would be terrified.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell's this bullshit? I don't want to live. You know what I mean? This is what I have to look forward to in life.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you do something that you're passionate about, the only thing you'll do that's passionate, unless you love accounting, which I think these people deserve padded walls.
Absolutely.
If you do something you're passionate about, there has to be an element of cool in it. Something exciting. And if they're your children, then they have your genes and they'll get excited about the same stupid shit.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I think it's already brushing off on Isla. Like, she's already got her own little gi, and she's telling me, Mama, I want to go to a jiu-jitsu competition. I want a medal.
Nice.
and then she comes up to me, Mama, I want to play jiu-jitsu with you. So I have to lie down on the floor, and she has to try and pass my guard.
Home run. This is a huge win for you because your passion is healthy for your child. Okay, the drive, it's not easy and stuff, but I bet you anything, when she gets older and you have a talk about this, she'd be like, do you know how excited I was to get there? You know what I mean? To meet these people. I'm sure she would be.
Yeah, it's so strange because, obviously we're not going these days. And I said, I can't remember, I said in passing conversation yesterday, I was like, oh, I really miss going to jiu-jitsu. And she said, yeah, I miss it too. I was like, you miss going to jiu-jitsu? She's like, yeah. I'm like, but you always spend so much time. I'm like, no, I love going to jiu-jitsu. I'm like, okay.
That's a victory. That's a victory. That's the thing. Like, I definitely want to have that mindset with my son, and I already see it. Like, because I started coaching kids, and my son is around that environment, and he's like mind blown. Kids and playing and this jiu-jitsu thing is really cool. And for him, I have it as like, did you wash your hands? Did you brush your teeth? Okay, we'll do jiu-jitsu. If you didn't know jiu-jitsu, it's like, Papa, please. I tricked him. I played mind games with him.
It's a reward.
Absolutely. But that's the thing. And I think you going to compete. Now, that's something that you feel that you're doing without her and letting her go. But I think that's just setting the framework, the foundation for her to have her own confidence, and I think that's really cool. So I commend you on what you're doing. I really hope you continue doing that. And there's a lot of people out there that will look at what you do. And now that hopefully some more people will hear this podcast and get to know you, maybe they'll feel like, shit, man, why don't I lean into something I like to do and bring my kids along with it, because screw it, it's a fun thing.
I tell you what, if you love it, just do it. You'll always find a way. I think that's one of my mottos in life. Like, if you want to do it enough, just do it. You'll find a way. If you make it your priority, you'll find a way.
Yes. And if you don't want to do it, or if you're anxious about it, you also find a way out. You know, that's the problem with a lot of people.
Totally, absolutely, yes.
It's all about perspective. I'm just,
Uh-huh.
I can't help but being an optimist with this whole coronavirus thing. It's horrible what's happening in some countries, but let's talk about what we can do. A lot of people are getting this once in a millennium chance to really look at their lives without the stress and demands of a job. You need to be here, you need to drive, go through traffic, fill gas, all the stress we feel every day. It's gone. I hope there's so many people out there that aren't just numb and like vegetabling their lives right now.
Doing something.
This is the chance to assess and see if you can do things like what you're doing, which is like find your passion, start like, okay, art, drawing. You can't see money, you can't see income. Sure, why not? Do it, start the foundation, and then it can be a side hustle that you had, like, you know, the 10,000 hours of practice. In a normal day, you can get 2 hours of practice, but now in Corona, you can get 10. Exactly.
Totally.
So I hope people get there as well. So is there anything you're up to during this phase, after the Corona phase, that you want to share with people? And how can they get in touch with you and reach you? Like, how can they follow you? On Instagram?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm Scarlett Roxanne on Instagram.
Yes, Scarlett
Roxanne.
Roxanne.
I'm on Facebook as well.
Okay.
Yeah, if anybody fancies a chat or to get in touch or to ask me questions, please feel free. I'm always open.
Yeah, and I think honestly, like there's a lot of competitors, men and women, right? That I think would be interested in some perspective, but especially for the women that are advice on what to do, how to compete in terms of juggling motherhood. I think you're a great person for them to reach out to and talk to. And Scarlett, I just want to ask you, Liljefors, this is your family name?
Liljefors.
Liljefors.
Yeah, this is, I have a double surname, so it's Anstis and Liljefors.
Okay, and where's Roxanne?
So Roxanne is one of my second names. I have a very, very long name. I have Scarlett, which is my first name. Roxanne is my second name. Aurora, my third name. And then Anstis Liljefors is my surname.
Were there a lot of people fighting when you were born?
Yeah, my parents just thought it would be really fun to give me a really long...
Everybody had a name and everybody got the name. Nice. Cool. Okay. But you're... Scarlett and Roxanne for Instagram.
Yeah, Scarlett Roxanne for Instagram.
All right, cool. So if anybody wants to follow her, check out Scarlett Roxanne on Instagram. Thank you so much for doing this. I hope you had a good time on this.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. It was really fun to talk to you.
Cool. Likewise. I really appreciate your time. Let me just wrap it up on Twitch and we'll end the chat.